All right, I thought I had finished my last video for the day, and then I heard about this lady right here. This is a 42-year-old mother of three who has just been arrested by the Lakeland Police Department because they got a call from the FBI, who got a call from a health insurance company because this lady said the three dreaded words, delay, deny, depose, you people are next. So now she's facing, this mother of three is facing 15 years in prison with a bail set at $100,000 because the Lakeland Police Department and the FBI and the healthcare companies and mainstream media doesn't care about your First Amendment right to speak freely. If you don't have the right to speak those three words. Now, am I saying that it would probably be a good idea in this day and age, especially with what happened to United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson last week? Is it a good idea to do that when everybody's on pins and needles and everybody's all skittish about who's going to be next, who's going to go off next, and with America angry at the health insurance companies who denies a large percentage of their claims after having paid every single month faithfully the ungodly premiums, and then expecting at the end in your hour of need to get a little bit of help from the insurance company that you're supposed to be getting help from, and then they drop the ball on you? Is anybody wondering why there's so much outrage in America today? And I'm not trying to feed into the outrage, but it is outrageous that the Lakeland Police Department would get a call from the FBI and go, okay, what you got? And they say, yeah, we got a call from a health insurance provider, and there's a disgruntled member in their health insurance network who said, delay, deny, depose, you people are next. We need you to pay her a visit, and we need you to go pick her up. And they should have said, kick rocks if they cared. It's like, oh, FBI, we know that you don't care about individual rights, but we over here in Lakeland, Florida, we do. Doesn't matter what you guys do. See, that's what we've got against us. We've got the military industrial complex, the prison industrial complex, the law enforcement industrial complex, the legal eagles against us, corporate media parasites. Let's listen to this story.
A woman in Florida is in trouble for allegedly threatening her insurance company with a phrase tied to United Healthcare CEO's murder.
Evan Moon is in Tampa with details.
The infamous words are all too familiar this week. She said, delay, deny, and depose, and you people are next. This was all over a phone call with a Blue Cross Blue Shield call center employee. Brianna Boston is a 42-year-old married mother of three. She was in court today charged with threats to conduct an act of terrorism and a mass shooting for this heated phone call with that healthcare agent.
Threats to conduct an act of terrorism. Just look at this. This is the quote we have. Boston said, delay, deny, depose. Local police made contact with Boston at her home shortly. Her name is Brianna Boston. She's 42 years old. Boston said, delay, deny, depose. You people are next. Near the end of her call with the insurer, which had recently denied her claim, according to the affidavit. You want to know who the real criminals in this saga are? The real criminals in this saga are the health insurance companies who said they'd do something for somebody and then didn't follow through with it and dropped the ball on it, which in turn, according to statistics, leads to massive amounts of death. Those are the real criminals in this scenario.
The judge today setting her bond at $100,000, even referencing the state of the country right now after the United Health tragedy.
Charges written threat to kill or injure, conduct a mass shooting or an act of terrorism. That's a second-degree felony, punished by 15 years in Florida State Prison. I do find that the bond of $100,000 is appropriate, considering the status of our country at this point.
But despite the national...
So now 3 kids, let's just go back to this lady and look at her face. What the heck? She's like, what the heck? 3 kids depend on her for their lives. Dad probably has to work. They probably are living paycheck to paycheck like 76% of Americans, and they can't afford childcare. This is basically going to destroy this woman. The court system's lack of respect for First Amendment freedom of speech rights, the law enforcement's willingness to flatten our rights like a pancake at the drop of a hat, and then a judge saying that, issuing a warrant if that's what's really happening. If a warrant was issued, and I wouldn't doubt if the FBI called the Lakeland Police Department, they probably called a judge and said, hey, we got a call from the FBI. You need to issue a warrant. And the judge probably did, because they roll over. The judge should have said, wait a second. Okay, so what's the probable cause that she committed a crime? She said the dreaded 3 words. She said, you people are next. Okay, where's the threat? Where's her saying, I'm going to make sure you people are next, or I'm going to come down there? Does Breonna Boston even know who she was talking to specifically to issue that threat? Do we know if Breonna knew if the person at the other end of the line, what state they were even in, or what call center she was calling into? How can you expect me to issue a warrant when you haven't given me probable cause that a crime has been committed? That's what the judge should have said. And even if the judge issued the warrant, the police captain or sheriff or whoever should have looked at it and go, wait, where's the crime? Who's the victim? What's going on here? And then the prostitutes of fake stream CIA infiltrated Operation Mockingbird MK Ultra Media start calling her a copycat killer, or a wannabe copycat killer, or somebody who issued threats, just completely slandering this lady.
On $100,000 is appropriate considering the status of our country at this point.
But despite the national headlines, I spoke with a lawyer.
Because of the status of our country, I'm going to go ahead and put your bond up to $100,000. That's not just. Who cares about what the status of the country is? Why don't you look at the facts of the case? And based on the facts of the case, not the status of the country or the fear level or the outrage or the people's anger or what recent unfortunate event just happened, why don't you just take the facts of the case? Is this real? This judge should lose her job at the very minimum. And if she goes to jail for a day, and she's sitting in jail right now, then that judge should be disbarred, fired, and jailed. The cop should be fired, decertified, and jailed, and their assets liquidated. And then we're going to get to the bottom of, hey, is this how often do you think this is going to happen in America again? When the cop knows that if he crosses that line, and this is a solid red line, if the cop crosses that line, he loses his job, loses his ability to ever be a police officer again, loses his pension, gets his assets liquidated. All those assets go to the victim and to the legal fees and all that kind of stuff. And this guy gets thrown in jail for at least 12 months, depending on the severity of the crime done by the police officer or the judge or the lawyer.
Today who says these charges are too extreme.
I think it's an overcharge. In reality, there's nothing in her communication that specifically says she's going to commit a mass shooting. I think it's more falls on that free speech line, on that protected speech. Although stupid, although ignorant, something you shouldn't say. The law allows you to say stupid, ignorant things, and even violent things, as long as it's not what's called a true threat.
That attorney went on to liken Breonna Boston's angry language to what thousands are posting on social media this week. He says, although it's wrong, you can't arrest everyone who is being hateful online either. And he made it clear that Boston didn't know who she was on the phone with or where that person was located. Again, she's charged with threats of an act of terrorism and a mass shooting. I did reach out to Florida Blue Cross Blue Shield about the incident and subsequent charges. They said they cannot comment on security matters. Breonna Boston's lawyer is also not commenting on the case at this time.
There aren't enough jails to hold all of us. There aren't enough jails to hold all the people who are going to say things like this right here on the internet, or call into a healthcare call center, or do anything where they're exercising their freedom of speech. If we slide down this road, and we have already slid down this road quite a bit, but now they're just pouring grease on it. We're sliding even faster. Florida woman was charged with a felony this week, accused of making a threat toward her health insurance company inspired by the shooting of the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson after her claims were denied. Breonna Boston, 42, was arrested on Thursday and charged with one count of making threats to conduct a mass shooting in connection to a recorded phone call she made Tuesday to her insurance provider, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Lakeland police were contacted by the FBI on Tuesday in response to the alleged threat. Boston said delayed, denied, deposed. By the way, delayed, denied, deposed were the things supposedly, and I haven't even seen this yet. I haven't even seen pictures of it, but even if we did, who scrawled that on the bullet casings? On the bullet casings, supposedly Luigi Mangione wrote that on the bullet casings that, from the bullets that were used to off the CEO. The words delay, deny, depose were written on the bullets. They weren't written on the bullets. They were written on the bullet casings. More than a half of the insured adults have experienced problems with their insurance provider. More than half. And you wonder who the real criminals are, who the people who should really be in jail. So while we have rape victims and while we have murders and while we have thefts going on, the Lakeland Police Department decided to go to a woman's door who decided to air her grievance to her health insurance company. The FBI gets involved and rights were trampled. Now this mother of three is facing a possible 15-year jail sentence. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comments section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Follow me on Twitter at High Impact Flicks, on Facebook at High Impact Flicks, and I will see you in the next video.